Ousmane Dembélé handed Paris Saint-Germain a crucial UEFA Champions League advantage by scoring the only goal of a 1-0 semi-final first leg win against Arsenal at the Emirates on Tuesday. Dembélé, who gave PSG an injury scare by limping off in the second half, now has 45 goal involvements in 45 games this season, and his strike here makes Luis Enrique's team strong favourites to reach the final in Munich. But with Bradley Barcola and Gonçalo Ramos both missing clear chances to score a second in the final 5 minutes, PSG let Arsenal off the hook to ensure that the Premier League side can travel to Paris with the hope of a second leg comeback. The Gunners had a second-half Mikel Merino goal ruled out for offside and saw PSG goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma make crucial saves from Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard to deny the home side a goal. Although PSG hold a slight advantage, their failure to score a second goal, the second leg is still alive. Merino has done a more than passable job of filling in at centre-forward for Arsenal following season-ending injuries to Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, but Thomas Partey's suspension forced Merino back into his orthodox midfield role as Trossard played through the middle, his best moment coming when forcing a brilliant save from Donnarumma 11 minutes into the second half. Dembélé took his goal brilliantly, finding the net via David Raya's left-hand post with the sort of clinical finishing that marks him out as one of Europe's best. In fact, there is a case to argue right now that he's Europe's best. Dembélé's 25th goal is the most by a player in Europe's top 5 leagues across all competitions in 2025. They are 90 minutes away from facing the same argument in Europe. PSG claim another win over Premier League opposition. Paris Saint-Germain might be able to make a late claim for the Premier League trophy, edging closer to the Champions League final by beating a 4th English team this season's competition. Luis Enrique's team had already beaten Manchester City, Liverpool and Aston Villa on the way to meeting Arsenal at their semi-final tie. Although an October meeting with the Gunners in the league phase ended in a 2-0 defeat for the French champions at the Emirates, PSG made amends for that loss, however, by taking an early lead through Dembél's 4th-minute goal, and then holding on to their advantage to seal a 1-0 first leg win. But all is not lost for Arsenal, as they prepare to travel to Paris for the second leg on May 7th. While City and Villa were well beaten in the Parc des Princes, Liverpool emerged with a 1-0 away win in the French capital of their round of 16 tie, only to lose at home and then be eliminated on penalties at Anfield. Arsenal must now emulate the newly crowned Premier League champions by winning in Paris against a team that loves beating English teams. Time to give Luis Enrique the respect he deserves. Luis Enrique has put his faith in youth and technique, and PSG are now the eye-catching, effective team in world football. If he guides PSG to their first Champions League title next month, Kvaratskhelia outshines soccer. There were many subplots in Arsenal's quarter-final win over Real Madrid, and prominent among them was whether Bukayo Saka is ready to join Europe's elite wingers who routinely compete for the Ballon d'Or. Saka outshone Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo in both games, and here he was pitched against Kvaratskhelia, the Georgian winger who has lit up PSG's run to their 4th semi-final in 6 seasons. It was no contest in the first half. Kvaratskhelia did something not many opponents manage: timber look a very ordinary defender, and his assist for Dembél's opener was just one of several occasions in which he threatened to wreak havoc down Arsenal's right side. Saka, who had just 4 touches in the opening 20 minutes, came infield to get more involved as the first half wore on, and it was no coincidence that Arsenal began to rouse themselves when he was at his most influential. Yet Saka was unable to affect the game as he would have liked, and he is one of several Arsenal players, along with the unusually quiet Martin Dedegaard, who will need to up their level in Paris next week.